Good morning and welcome to winter in Minnesota. It's December 7th. We're getting a little bit of a good snowfall here this morning. Nothing too heavy, but enough to cover the road. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to get out and try FSD Beta in the snow. Now, right now I'm running 10.5. 10.6.1 is supposed to be coming in the next couple days. And I've actually had a difficult time with 10.5 in the early days, but it seems to have gotten better over the last few days. So excited to take it out, see how it handles these roads that are pretty obscured. It's getting cold out here. Let's get in the nice warm car and start testing. We are a little toward the edge here, closer than I'd like, but it did correct and come back. Now it's kind of going over a little bit. It's okay, it's still in the lane, but further to the right than I would traditionally go. It is kind of seeing the line. I'm going to slow down here just a little bit. I got a Suburban behind me. I took over just because I want to make sure we get that corner all right. Like I said, I do have a Suburban right behind me. I'm going to just take off until I get him out of it. He's kind of tailgating, so, which is awesome to do in the snow. Really smart. A little bit of slide here. Traction control turned on. Took care of it pretty quick. It wants to do the interstate with the snow and other traffic. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to continue driving through this intersection and let it recalculate and figure out where we need to be. And this is my first winter drive of 2021 with any significant snow on the ground. Not that this is that heavy, but so if I'm taking over there, I wanted to get into the turn lane. We're not doing that. And it doesn't like to engage when you're in an intersection either. So now for these conditions, I would be a little slower, so I am going to back it down a little bit just to be sure we're not just careening into things there. I didn't like that. Alright, we are recording. I do have a bus behind me. I have the set speed low, or speed set low, because we are kind of slanted around here. I am on all weather tires instead of winter tires, so that could be a little bit of the slippage. We'll see how that reacts. Back down the speed just a little bit. It's getting over to the right. This is all good and appropriate. I'm just being very cautious because it is slippery out. And obviously this is my car. Yeah, I guess it can go here. I did choose to do it. Alright. I'll re-engage here at the stoplight. So at that last turn, it made a pretty good decision to go out. There wasn't traffic coming too quickly, and we had space to do it. It got confused and threw up the takeover immediately because the traction control started slipping as it made the turn on the snow. So we'll see if that does that again on these next turns. It doesn't seem to be having any trouble finding the lane lines. Here they're pretty easy to see, but the center lane is fairly obscured. And the center line, this line, is fairly obscured, but It's all good. Oh, someone with a dead tire. I'm trying to get over too soon. I took over there. Now we need to slow significantly. In these conditions, I'm taking over. Having not driven this route yet this morning, I'm being a little cautious on what might be slippery ahead. So, with Captain Yukon there tailgating right behind me again and coming up close to the guy in front of me, I wanted to make sure that was a safe maneuver. So, FSD may have handled it, but like I said, this is my car. It's my responsibility to be safe, and so if I need to disengage, I'm going to. So you can see here, obviously we can see the car in front of us, but the lanes themselves are not super well defined. So obviously, taking conditions into mind, I would appreciate some earlier slowing down here. Pretty good through all of here. Do have the speed reduced a little bit. Nope, don't turn. It did correct itself that time. That's been a thing on 10.5 that's really been curious, is it tries to get into turn lanes far too early sometimes, or the wrong turn lane because we're going too early. This is the turn we want, so let's see if it should be getting over and should be slowing down more than it is on the snow. I am not happy with this. And backing up, back behind the line. So obviously that's not good. I did let it try to make that stop, and it did not want to do it. So taking road conditions into account, that was a relatively safe place. I knew if I let that go through, we'd just slide a little past like we did, and we could correct it. With nobody behind me and no cross traffic, I felt that like that was an okay place to test it. But obviously that was not successful. Beta back on, see if it'll do this turn. We are sliding a little bit. Yeah, it's kicking out. So definitely need to do some snow improvements to the systems, and you're reporting that. I should have reported that braking incident too. Where it's going to have to start learning conditions, and it's okay at this stage of the game that it's not doing that. If it was still doing that next winter, I would be shocked. Obviously, there's a lot of new beta testers in northern states now this winter, so hopefully we're going to collect some good data. I'm going to turn around and we'll get a nice view of, there's Model X up there, and we'll get a good view of this Taycan here by the Dollar Tree. It is slick. If I put my foot down, I can get it to slide around pretty good. I think this is a turn lane, but I'm not going to turn beta on when I don't even know where the lane is. So now it's saying full self-driving not available, poor weather detected. And frankly, at this point, that's okay. Like I said, if it's still making those mistakes next year, then we've got a problem. But for the first snowfall of 2021 that I'm taking it out, the fact that I'm having to take over and my back end sliding out a little bit, so may be degraded. Makes sense. I'm just going to back down the speed a little bit. And part of that is it's going to the speed offset I have set. And in good weather with normal traffic, I would have it go 10% over, because that's kind of the flow of traffic generally. But in conditions like this, it's generally the speed limit or under. Off to the right here a little bit, not bad, but just not where I would normally drive. If we're turning here, we need to be going slower, significantly slower, especially with that guy turning. These are the tires I got in North Dakota in a pinch, and I don't think they were the most expensive all-season tires. They say sport on them, but I don't think they're terribly sporty either. But I guess it doesn't really surprise me that they're not super in the snow. I was hoping not to have to get winter tires this year, but judging with how this is sliding around and we're doing some odd braking things, cars are starting to come up behind us, so just gave it a little accelerator there, bumped up the speed. Yeah. It was getting unsure. I dumped it out of FSD just because there are several cars behind me now. Not really tailgating, but if I were to slide out, that would mean they'd have a hard time stopping too. So I'm just gonna get through some of this, put some distance between us. So here you can also see, and I'm driving right now, but the way people have been driving cuts the actual lane markings. I don't know how FSD would behave on that. I guess I can try this road again. But without people behind me. Pull out of this church. And do that stretch again. Cancel navigation and just put beta on. Here. Whoa! That was it did not cancel. It tried to turn on. Okay. So that was an odd move, but it was trying to still follow that navigation I had plugged in. So here, like technically it should do that, but in this weather with these markings, no. Now it's going to, yeah, like I said, it's going to follow the road markings, even though the drive lane in these conditions is where people have been going. So it's technically what it's thinking it's doing what is right, but this is a situational awareness kind of thing where it needs to adjust. So yeah, the yellow did better there. Luckily, I have no one behind me, so I'm comfortable going at a slower speed without a pile up of cars coming. Here again, it's a little too far to the right, and then trying to adjust. It's a big braking event there. Not harsh, but just, you know, you can tell it's trying to figure out where it's supposed to drive. We're actually on the yellow line on our left tire here. Now that I can see it, it's picking it up and smoothing us out a little bit. And I do have a vehicle coming up behind me pretty quickly. And now we're kind of on the white line on the right-hand side a little bit. Further than it would normally be. Just because there is cross traffic, I'm going to knock it out here and then slow down on my own. We'll go up through this intersection, turn around and come back, because that's a pretty interesting road situation. And that intersection earlier where I let it slide through, where there was room and it was safe to go a little past the line, this road would not be that case with all the cross traffic that would be coming through. I do have a couple of cars behind me. Oh, and a snowplow. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's gonna still come up behind me. And the plow is staying behind me, so might need to take over. The car behind me isn't giving me a ton of room. And the snowplow is actually in the center lane getting some of that stuff out, so it will be interesting. I'm going to back my speed off so I'm not tailgating the guy behind me so much. Or the guy in front of me. Drifting a little bit. Odd choice of a line there. A little phantom braking going on. So the person behind me is kind of right on my tail, and then the person behind them is tailgating them, and then we get a snowplow coming up behind. So I don't necessarily blame them for keeping close, but little phantom braking action back there. Not bad. I guess somebody had a good term for it on Twitter. I can't remember what it was. It was I don't know, it was kind of a cute way of saying decreased acceleration, but I can't think of what it was. So doing a better job through this time. It's still following the technical lines. And it might help that I've got a lead car. That's helping to shepherd it. Here we're going way off. So I'll report that. Should be slowing way down for this turn. Yeah, I'm taking over with the other traffic there and someone behind me. Alright, it's wanting to get over there. That's not good. Again, I think that was a turn lane. Maybe not. Maybe it was just the side lane. And the speed offset is way too high, so it's way too fast. Normally I like that when it sees a stoplight it changes the, normally I like when it sees a speed limit sign, it will perk up to what the offset is. But in these conditions, I want it to stay right where I have been, so. Drifting to the left a little bit. Doesn't seem to be any reason for it. But normally you would stay where the road is clear. And it's picked its speed back up again. Especially coming into some sharp turns here, we're not slowing down fast enough, so I was throttling down the speed on the screen, but it wasn't slowing down in real life, so Here again, it's taking the... Oh, okay. Fire truck, but it was going the other way. So here it's way off to the right and going toward a turn lane instead of the straight lane. That's a problem I've had pretty consistently in 10.5, and here it's just in the middle of the lane. All of that was crap. Here again, don't need to get in the turn lane. For some reason it's really hugging the side of the road, and then before it was going in the center, so just having a tough time figuring out where that lane line is. I'm sure the person behind me it's still the person from the last windy road, so I'm sure they think I'm completely insane. Find its way through there. Why are you going around? And this is all just... It's doing a terrible job there. That was pretty bad. And here we're headed for that, which is not good. Report all of that. Don't wanted to get over, but there's a car coming up in that lane. I've confused enough people for today, so I'll let them go first. We'll get over. A little slipperiness there. And going to the center of the lane. Like that. And really, that's my big reason for getting out here and doing this. Even though it is a little dicey and you have to be very cautious. I would be slowing down earlier here. The point is to feed data back and get this improving. So, because 10.6 is already out, and 10.61 is probably coming out in the next couple days, I don't expect to see these changes or a vast improvement in that version. But hopefully these reports are getting sent in for 10.7 or version 11, whatever they do next. Because for full self-driving, you need to be able to do all of this and do it safely. Here I would be slowing down already. We're coming down a slope toward a stoplight. Could we have stopped in less time? Yes. But again, given the conditions, it's better to take it. Leave extra space, be cautious, slow down early, and then go at a low. It's a good view of autopilot cleaning itself off. I don't know if that did any good or not. I got people behind me, so I'm taking off. Not letting it figure it out. And here again, we're coming up to a stoplight. No reason to speed up too much. It's kind of creeping over to the left again. I've got my hand on the wheel and holding it pretty tightly. Now back to the right. We're going pretty slow here, but this is a pretty tight turn where there have been lots of accidents and a couple fatalities. And so I am keeping the speed slow. There's no one behind me. A little fishtail there. It's trying to find its way around this corner. And we're kind of in a turn lane area. We got out of it. But now cars are coming up behind me, so and here again I would already be slowing down. Oh, it is now. Slowing down, that's good. A little wonky. Should be going. Got a work van behind me, so I'm trying to let him go by. But I'm not gonna let it go 50 on this road. This is another road with a long, steep grade to it, where if it gets icy, people just slide all the way down. And at the end of it is the turn we need to take. So I'm just keeping my speed low. Like that work truck passed us by, that's good. Doesn't seem to be icy, but I would be slowing down already here. It's used to taking this pretty fast and aggressively, which is normally good, but not good today. And we're gonna slide right by it. accelerator, slip through, and yeah. So some of that is issue with my tires. Some of that is FSD not slowing down enough in these conditions. So we've both got a little bit of work to do.